Well, all right. We got ourselves a list of breaking news things that we got to talk about today. And I want to start off with this. The IBF title eliminator heavyweight fight that was postponed yesterday. Hearing the breaking news, Frank Sanchez, 25-1, 18 big wins coming by way of knockout, who was taking on Richard Torrez Jr., Olympic silver medalist, with a record of 14-0, 12 big wins coming by way of knockout. 70s, 80s type style boxer, coming in, getting low, forward pressure, hooks, straights. An exciting fighter that always comes to fight every single time. Frank Sanchez, technically skilled, came from Cuba, has a great amateur background, 216 wins, and I believe only 8 losses. We all understand the Cuban boxing amateur schools that they got down there, my friends. It is no joke. Frank Sanchez has only lost one time in his career to a G. Cabawal, going in that fight with a knee injury. If you don't remember, previous to that fight against Junior Fall and the other fights before that, was never going into these fights with a knee brace. Then we see against the G. Cabawal, he got that thing wrapped around his knee. And then in the second round, looks like a completely different Frank Sanchez that we've seen in his whole career. Was laying up against the ropes, not doing anything. A fast, technically skilled, well-rounded boxer in Frank Sanchez. Yesterday, we hear the breaking news, Frank Sanchez pulls out. At least the fight is going to be postponed as Frank Sanchez re-injures his right knee that he had surgery on 1 month prior after to the Ajit Cabawal fight. He hurts his knee in that fight, went into it with a knee brace, then had surgery a month after, and has only had 1 fight since then. Only fought 1 time in 2025, and that was back in February against Ramon Olivas, some dude with a losing record. A tune-up fight for Frank Sanchez to get himself used to the ring again. Richard Torrez Jr. was coming off the toughest fight of his career against Guido Vianello. But the same thing with him. He's coming off, I would say, a tune-up win as well against Thomas Selleck, knocking him out in 1 goddamn round, breaking the dude's nose. I was excited to see this fight. Richard Torrez Jr. is from Tulare, California, about 40 minutes away from where I live. I was excited for this opportunity for the young up-and-coming prospect. Title eliminator fight. Whoever wins this fight would eventually get themselves an IBF heavyweight title clash. Well, guess what? The fight has been postponed. But I think, in my opinion, this is even greater. This is even better than being on the co-main event of Sebastian Fundora versus Keith One-Time Thurman on March 28th. Don't get me wrong, that's a big fight. That was going to be a great card. I was truly excited for that. But now, I'm seeing that they're postponing their fight to May 30th at the Barclays Center in New York City. And who's fighting on May 30th? Who have we been hearing the breaking news surrounding May 30th? I'll let you think real quick. Devin Haney versus Rolly Romero. Richard Torrez Jr. versus Frank Sanchez has been postponed and is looking to be most likely on the undercard. Hopefully the co-main event, it would be absolutely humongous. And not just that, but a great way to get you excited going into a main event. We know for a fact Richard Torrez Jr. is coming to bang with Frank Sanchez. And I think this is a great opportunity for Richard Torrez Jr., who's young, up-and-coming, furious, going up against Frank Sanchez that honestly is past his prime, dealing with knee injuries. The footwork, which was his best thing, might just start coming to an end. If this was 2021, Frank Sanchez will be Efa Jogba, then my goodness, I still think Richard Torrez Jr. is going to have a lot to deal with against Frank Sanchez. He is no goddamn joke. But now that it's on the co-main event of Devin Haney versus Rolly Romero, the opportunity that both of these men have. Richard Torrez Jr. coming in here to make a statement in the boxing world. This is absolutely great news, man. And I can't wait, bro. I think being the co-main event and on the card of Devin Haney versus Rolly Romero is a way bigger deal than being on the card of Sebastian Fundora and Keith One-Time Thurman. Don't get me wrong. I love Keith One-Time Thurman. And I can't wait for that fight with Sebastian Fundora. I can't wait. Come on, Thurman. It was going to be a great card, but at the end of the day, I can't wait for it to be on Devin Haney versus Rolly Romero co-main event. I think, you know, somebody, like I told you, who's a really big fan of Richard Torrez Jr., I think that's the greatest thing that can happen. I think, hell yeah, let's make it happen. Now, hopefully everything plays out smooth. Everything goes fine with Frank Sanchez's, you know, inflamed knee injury. He re-injured it again. Hopefully he's able to recover in time for May 30th's clash with Richard Torrez Jr. in the title Eliminator. Now, September 5th, I seen this yesterday, and I didn't make a video reacting to it because I have a couple things to say about it. Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney. Oh, psych. I ain't falling for this one this time, bro. I ain't. What did they try to do with that Times Square card? What did they try to do? Ryan Garcia versus Rolly. Devin versus Jose. They both win. That's the fight we see. And what did Rolly do? Cancel that. Now, I'm not saying Rolly Romero is going to beat Devin Haney. I got Devin Haney whooping Rolly Romero all day. I got him beating him in that fight all day. Using the jab, using his footwork to a unanimous decision victory. I don't know if he's going to be able to knock him out. I mean, you know, he could have knocked out Brian Norman Jr., Rolly Romero, depending on what type of Rolly Romero comes in here. If this is a reckless, if this is a wild, you know, a type of Rolly Romero, then, you know, anything's possible. But I got Devin Haney winning unanimous decision victory against Rolly Romero. I'm not going to get excited for a Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney fight until it's actually official. They tried to do this to us before, and everything got busted out. Don't get me wrong, I can't wait, and I hope this news is true. Devin Haney Promotions on Instagram drops this, and I was like, come on, bro. I'm not getting excited yet. I am not getting excited just yet. We're gonna be tremendously excited when we hear the official news, but in the sport of boxing, you never know how things are gonna turn out. You never know what Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney are gonna end up doing, and you never know what if Rolly beats Devin. I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't. But I didn't think Ryan Garcia was going to lose to Rolly Romero. I didn't think Rolly Romero had a shot of beating Ryan Garcia. The same way that I don't think Devin Haney can lose to somebody like Rolly Romero. But it happened. It is absolutely breaking news that, you know, they promote it. But we're going to have to see how this plays out. And I won't be making another video on this until we hear actual official news. But as of right now, Devin Haney versus Rolly Romero hasn't even been signed yet, all right? We're still waiting for the official news with that. Now, Janibek, Alim, Hanala, Kanuli, whatever you want to call him, an undefeated 160-pound, 6'1", 6 feet, humongous man, weight bully, who popped for PEDs, or Meldonium. A goddamn, it wasn't Austrian or nothing like that. This was Meldonium, a Russian Soviet old school drug that helps with endurance and helps with every single thing that Janibek Alim Halala was dealing with. The problems he was dealing with, like weight cuts. This dude is notorious for being known as one of the most weight bullied guys, one of the most biggest dudes fighting at 160 pounds, feigning, getting sent to the hospital, having fights canceled. Because this guy has such a tough time of making the goddamn weight. Now, I know Sebastian Fundora, Albert Bow, these guys are freaks of nature. But Janibek was clearly weight bullying people. The IBF has officially stripped him of his title. Janibek Alim Halala, who was supposed to fight on the Lamont Roach Jr. versus Isaac Pitbull Cruz card. I believe, what was that, December 5th, December 6th of 2025? Against Arislandi Laura in a unification bout. 3 titles on the lane. Janibek Alim Halala, WBO IBF champion. And just like that, boom. Pops for Maldonian. The fight gets canceled. The IBF does not know what to do. It took them a little while. But they have officially stripped Janibek from being the IBF middleweight champion of the world. My goodness, man. It took a while, but this was necessary. This was necessary. Janibek. Come on, man. Come on. I know he made the excuses saying that, due to an emergency, a medical emergency, he took something during this medical emergency that obviously had Maldonian in it. It caused him to fail. But at the end of the day, if you want to believe that, you can believe that. It's up to you. But as of right now, Janibek is no longer the IBF champion. And the WBO title that he has, champion in recess. The dude has been banned by the WBO for a whole goddamn year. I mean, he put this on himself. He deserves this, but at the end of the day, boxing takes a loss. I know he wasn't a big name. If you weren't a hardcore boxing fan, you probably never heard of Janibek. But right when the middleweight division seemed to be getting exciting again, unifications are coming about. Terrence Bud Crawford and all that stuff that was going down with him. And, possibly him going down to fight Janibek if he became undisputed, so he can try to become a 4-time undisputed world champion in the sport of boxing. All that comes crashing down with Janibek failing his drug test, man. Absolutely breaking news in the sport of boxing right now, my people. Let me know what you guys think. I know there's a couple things that you gotta go through, but still, bro, let me know what you guys think. This is the MMA Boxing Addict channel reporting to you, and I'm out. I'll be back in a little.